Hey guys, welcome back again from Tampa Bay. Today I've got a review of the 2016 Ducati Monster 1200. This is basically their street fighter. It's got a lot of power, low weight, basic features. Pretty tall seat. First impressions, you're going to need a bit of an inseam, surprisingly. It's a very narrow seat in a cramped little triangle, but it's pretty tall off the ground. Very nice looking dash. There's the starter. I was looking for it. I'm looking through my transition shield. It's a little dark, and it's a dark black switch on a background there. This is a steering stabilizer. This will help with a bit of a wobble if you ever get into it. Could have used that on the bobber ride in here. I'm just looking over all the controls here before we start. We're in neutral. Oh man, beautiful transmission. You don't even feel it. It's like a video game. Set my mirrors here. Pretty small. We'll see how they look on the road. Bit of a vibration coming through the whole bike, especially through the seat, all the way through the handlebars. Now this is a large twin engine. They call it an L-twin. It's a 90-degree V-twin, same thing. Pretty quiet here at idle. Let's rev it up a little bit. Yeah, very tame sound. Could definitely do with an aftermarket exhaust. All right, I'm gonna wait till we take off here. Now I am gonna warn you, I have been told by the group that just came back that this is unfortunately a very slow, tame ride. So just putting that out there, I may not be able to really test this thing's upper power band, if you know what I mean. All right, this is kind of ridiculous. They're making everybody go through the parking lot to figure out the clutch zone. Come on, let's go. You know what? I've been on demo rides from every factory out there, and Yamaha does it so much better than anybody else. It's not even close. That was weird. Showed it in first gear, but it was not in first gear. Bit of a fault there. Not a good start. Woo! Holy smoking heat on my right leg. That is not even funny. I felt like my leg was burning. There's an exhaust shield right there. Let me tell you what. It's cooking. And that's why my leg touches the thing. Whew, don't like that. And we're finally off. Okay, first impressions. Very lightweight. I feel like I am directly over the front wheel. Very light and nimble at these low parking lot speeds. You really feel the whole engine. Feel every tick and grind. It's not like an inline engine as far as the smoothness. Not a fault, just letting you guys know. Very good clutch engagement zone. However, it is a quite hard pull. Definitely not on par with even the other Ducatis with the more modern, very light clutch pull. These have adjustment. They're not the typical round dial type adjusters. There are two tension screws up where the actual cables come in, where the hydraulic pushers come in, and that sets your length of the handle pull. Let's go up into top gear here and just cruise 45 miles an hour. Very pronounced shake. It doesn't like that. Let's drop down into fourth. Still has a shake, but it's just the normal engine operation. Pulls a lot better though. Let's try third. 4,000 RPM. I don't know if you guys can read the gauge. It is extremely small. I have to actually look at it, it is not a tack that you can glance at and know what RPM you're at. Those numbers are really tiny, and I'm sure they're going to be too small to read in the camera, but we're at 4,000 RPM in fourth at 45 miles an hour, just for reference. Hopefully we get to some more open roads here pretty quick. This clutch is so heavy that I do not have the strength to keep it pulled in here on these long traffic lights. It is that tough. That's amazing. There we go. Very nice, smooth engagement though. Plenty of low end grunt. A lot of mid-range power. I'm just slowly rolling it on here. Does have a nice exhaust note on the overrun. Same vibration is everywhere from idle all the way up here. If you're looking for a really smooth ride, this is not going to be it. But if you're looking for something that gives you some feedback, this might fit the bill. So let's adjust the mirrors here. Okay, that's what I was afraid of. Half useless. All I see is arm to even start to see next to me. And they're just too small. If you're in the market for something like this, just comfort-wise, make sure you try some other stuff out. BMW's got a great alternative about in the same price range. You want to save a ton of cash, look to Suzuki. Just about the same rider's triangle and maybe even more power. So let's talk about the features. Well, it's pretty sparse. It's definitely on the basic side. Yeah, this thing just does not like to be lugged at all. We have a tiny, for looks only, basically windscreen here, and the whole thing's shaking around. Just basically a deflector. It's not going to save you from anything. Mirrors, you see, these are the tiny little hydraulic reservoirs, and they're just kind of mounted flimsily out there. The turn signals are down here. They're flop. I have no idea why they put these floppy things on this kind of bike. You're not going through any kind of brush. And if it seems like I'm knocking a bike when I mention these things, I'm not. I am comparing it to the competition. What else is out there for your money? And if other bikes do things differently, I'm going to note it. Things like this, well, they stand out. They're odd. They're dated. This thing needs a big update, even compared to the rest of the Ducati line. It's got some big bar ends stuck on here. They almost look aftermarket. They don't look like, especially this one with this big grip gap, they don't look like they belong. Normal turn signals, a little push button in the center. We've got a flash to pass here, brake controls, and a horn. And then a multi-mode button right underneath the turn signals. My God, that exhaust is going to piss me off. We're on a right-hand canter here, so I have to tilt the bike to the left to put my foot down, which means my leg is right up against that heat shield, and it burns. That is just a stupid design. There's nothing good you can say about that. So this little multi-button down here, it's right next to the horn. Can't even see it because the turn signal button is in the way when you're riding it. Wow, and that dash is completely washed out in the sun. I see absolutely nothing. If in my shadow I can just see my speed, but in direct sun, this dash is 100% unreadable. I don't know if the camera's going to show it any differently because of the exposure, but to my naked eye, nothing. That is a terrible dash. Worst one I have ever seen on a bike. Okay, as I was saying, this multi-mode button, it cycles through the optional displays in the bottom right corner. I'll read them since I know you won't be able to see them. This says continuous mileage. We're at 39.8 miles per gallon. I'm sorry, that was average. The continuous is here. I can't even see the little designator. Average speed, 31. That'll tell you how this demo ride is going to go. Oy. This sucks too because the roads now I know we're going on are the best motorcycling roads in this area. I know we're going to go down Patterson. We have to. It's just a great road. And then we've got ambient air. It's 91 degrees out. Yes, it is freaking hot. And yes, this engine is throwing off a lot of heat. We'll get around this roundabout here and I'll continue. Does go through corners and flicks around like nothing. I mean, this thing feels like a toy, like it's not even here. Extremely lightweight and nimble. It is a joy to just tootle around on. Next we have the continue. Okay, that's it. So the rest of the dash, we have a clock. Come on, dude, 30, really? Oh, you're killing me. We have a clock. We have a coolant temperature. It's sitting at 207 degrees. We have a traction control, an ABS control, and a trip counter. We've got a speedometer, a gear indicator, and a almost unreadable tachometer. When the sun's not hitting it and you can actually see the bars, you can see where the bars are, but the numbers, you can't glance down. They're too small. You have to actually hold your gaze on them and read them. That's not good for gauges. You should be able to glance in a fraction of a second and read the gauge and know what it is. Just my opinion. And that's the way most bikes are set up to do. Even a tiny little gauge cluster, like say a Yamaha Bolt, which I don't really care for, as far as the gauge design, it still works. You can still glance at it. So it's not a matter of the size of the cluster. This is a decent sized cluster. It's the same size as an FJ09 or 07, so they could have done better. All right, enough about the gauges. We have fully adjustable front suspension. It's actually set up pretty well for me. It's soaking up what little bumps are on this road, no problem. It's nice and smooth. It's not diving at all when I brake. The rear's set just as well. It's nice and comfy. Feels like I'm floating on a cloud, but it's nice and stiff. So no complaints there at all. Does feel like an extremely short wheelbase, which it is. And that's what gives you this great handling. Bars are on the wide side. They're slightly raised. They're not exactly drag bars, but they're pretty darn close. Very thin grips. I'd say a little bit thinner than the average. The turn signal button's kind of gummy. It doesn't have a click. You don't know that you actually actuated it. Now what are we doing? Seriously, he's waiting for everyone to make a turn. Oh my God. Yeah, this is a great way to sell bikes, Ducati. So exciting. That really lets people know what they get for their $20,000 to $30,000. Woo! Try again. You guys need to go back to the drawing board on your whole demo team. Look to Yamaha. Look to Suzuki. Hell, look to Honda. And they were terrible. This is not a way to get anybody excited about a huge purchase. My goodness. Oh, how did I get into that menu? Now we're into the, maybe I held it. See, these are great roads and we're just putzing along. Well, the menu went away. Oh, I bet it was because I was stopped. I don't know. I'd have to read the manual to figure out how that, but that was into the traction control and ABS settings. I don't need to fuss with that. We're clearly not going to get anywhere near to needing anything like that. Boy, I wish I could see the dash. I have no idea how fast I'm going right now. My shadow's not covering it. Rider's triangle is pretty normal. It's actually about the same forward lean angle as the Kawasaki Concourse or the Yamaha FJR or the Triumph Tiger. It's a sport touring type lean. It's not sit up and beg. I do have a little bit of flex in my elbows, but my arms are pretty stretched out. The bars are pretty far forward. I'm 6'2", 245 pounds. I have a 32-inch inseam. So I do have a decently tall torso and long arms. I have no problem reaching anything here. And I'm used to this position. But if you do want a more cruiser-like sit up and beg type relaxing position, this is not going to be for you. there is a lean forward, but it's nowhere near a sport bike or anything like that. But if you look at that scrambler directly ahead of me, that's much more upright. She could release those handlebars and no problem. But here, little forward. So just bear that in mind. I actually like this type of position. It's a little sporty. I can sit up completely and ride with one hand. This is what I do on long trips. I like it, you know, it works for me. It's the best of both worlds. The tank is actually not fitting me very well. It has cutouts for my legs, but I'm feeling the angles of the tank. The bottom edge is right along my leg. So it's not a nice smooth surface, and it's not quite at the same angle that my legs are. So it's got a bit of a gap, especially the way it comes up. It's kind of curved like a waistline, but that curve is higher than my leg is. And I'm obviously on the seat, so it's not like your leg can go anywhere else. If I had longer legs, I can pick my leg up here. If I had a 2-inch longer inseam, it would fit perfectly right in this little cup, but I don't. So you need about a 34-inch inseam to really fit this tank as it's designed. But as it is, I'm sitting on the edge. It's not exactly comfortable, and that exhaust is unforgivable. Absolutely unforgivable. I realize there's no other place they could put it, but if it cooks your leg, I mean like burn your leg through jeans by contacting it, that's in the wrong place. There's nothing else I can say about that. It is liquid cooled. You've got these little tiny radiators sticking out. I don't know if you're going to see them sticking out on the top corners there. Kind of like Harley does on their later hybrid cooled, where they put them on the floorboards. Actually didn't want to throw through that curve very well. I'm going to push it a little bit more on the next one, but I'm used to, especially on Ducatis, where they just fall into place, right? And they hold that line. It's kind of what they're known for. This one I had to maintain significant pressure to maintain that line, or I wanted to push out. That was a little surprising. Wasn't a problem, it's just not typical. So we got some more curves coming up. I'll play around with a little bit. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to tell you guys what kind of power this has. I know it's a wheelie monster. I've seen enough reviews on it to know that. And I can feel the way it rides. I mean, this is going to be like any other high-power, lightweight, short wheelbase bike. It's going to be a wheelie monster. But they are obviously not interested in showcasing any of the performance of these bikes. So it is what it is. I don't even think I'm going to get out of third. I'm slingshotting just a little bit here. They were really grumpy about that, about the rules. But I just want to feel something, you know? Yeah, on these curves, you do have to maintain a little bit more pressure than typical. Let's see if I lean a little bit more. It's so hard to really get a feel for it at this speed, though. I apologize, guys. You know, honestly, if I knew that it was going to be like this, I probably would have skipped and just demoed elsewhere. And I might redo this one the first chance I get. I will be demoing and reviewing a ton of bikes at AIM Expo, and I do believe I saw Ducati on the list, so this will be the first one I redo. They did an excellent job last year. I just don't want you guys to get the performance impression based on this review. There's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. But I can still let you guys know how it feels, how it fits, and if it might be right for you to at least try. And I do recommend that you always try a bike, if possible, before you buy it. So let's talk about the seat. Now that I've been on it a little while, it's actually pretty comfortable. It is firm. It's not a cushy seat. There's not a lot of give to it at all. It's not a marshmallow. It's not like floating down the road on a cushion. This does have a really nice immediate pickup, at least here in third. Yeah, slow down. We're going so fast. Whoa, stop sign ahead. The seat is a slab, but it's got a little bit of a cushion on it. And it's got a hard plastic backrest just for your butt, kind of keep you in place. I imagine it probably functions well. I'm not going to get to test it. But the material's nice. Oh, it does feel good to stand up, so there is a bit of a pressure going on there. Nothing you'd want to take in a long distance tour, let me put it that way. And this is not a riding position where you'd want to be standing on the pegs. The pegs are just simply way too high. My legs are pretty bent. It's not a very long-term comfortable position for me. That's what kind of strikes me as odd, because the peg position is really designed for shorter leg people, but this tank is designed for longer leg people. I don't know. That's a cool bus. Little Superman theme going on. Good on you, buddy. So in 6 here, we're finally at 60 miles an hour. Whoa, feel the rush. Not a whole lot going on at 6. Let's go drop down to 4th. 35, almost 4,000 RPM. Let's go. Much better. Much better. Same vibration in every gear, every RPM range. Really doesn't even get much more intense. Let's try 3rd, 5th, 5,000 RPM. Oh, much better. That's the power band. So what I can tell you is 5,000 is a lot better than 3. I mean, dramatically as far as the power band. Yeah, even down to 4, there's not too much going on compared to 5. So wherever the torque curve is, it's higher. And it wants to raise the front end here too. I mean the suspension, not wheelie. Let's drop down to 2nd, see what RPM we're at. 6,000. Oh, yeah. Okay, keep these RPMs high for an enjoyable experience, and I'm going to do just that. Pretty good engine braking too, surprisingly. A lot of the Ducatis I've ridden, they're pretty free revving, which usually translates into not too much engine braking, but this one feels pretty linear. I like that. A little more control. It's got a decent sound. It sounds very mechanical, no matter what gear I'm in. I do not really hear an exhaust note. I hear the engine train itself, the valve train, a little bit of the intake. When I'm geared down, I should say geared up, and I lug it, then I can hear the little bit of concussive note. But it's very quiet. I think this would be really nice with a titanium exhaust system. Get a little bit more volume and a little bit more throatiness. That would probably be a nice upgrade to do on this. But the stock, just know it's very quiet. It's not going to bother you. And while you're cruising in gear, you don't hear a thing. Not a thing. I hear the wind. It's only when you get on it and start to go. Let's get back down into the more fun range here. I like 3rd. 2's a little buzzy holding it up like this. I mean, not that you would ever be riding around just cruising in a high RPM like this. Well, unless you like wasting gas, I suppose. 4th seems to be about the sweet spot here, between 50 and 60, just cruising down. Not too vibraty, but instant torque. So that's not bad. Yeah, this suspension is working very nice. This is a fairly bumpy road, lots of road snakes, lots of little cracks, tree roots, things like that. And it's just beautiful. No jarring motions. Just glides over everything, but still nice and taut. There's no wallowing, there's no bounciness. It's really dialed in. So whatever they got it set to works very nicely. And remember, I'm on the heavy side, so if it works for me, it's going to work for a lot of riders. I get a lot of people that ask me, you know, hey, how much do you weigh? I say it in all my videos. And I get a lot of people that say, hey, I'm glad I found you because I can't find any reviews from people my size. And that's specifically why I mention it, because I'm the same way. Seriously, dude? Yes, we know how to brake. Terrible. So I get a lot of people that are grateful to find a real world review of a bike when it applies to them. Because frankly, there's a ton of people out there doing exceptionally awesome bike reviews. But when they weigh a $110 or they're 5'8", I don't care, because their experience is not going to be mine. That's just all there is to it. So that's why it's important to me to let you guys know what my size is, so it translates. I want all my reviews to be useful. That's the point. Okay, well, I think I've gone over everything on the bike. There's really no features left to talk about, and clearly we're not going to be doing any kind of exciting riding. I wish I could really wind it out, do some full throttle pulls, test out the braking, really hit the handling and cornering, but it ain't gonna happen. Like I said, I will redo this one as soon as I possibly can for you. I was excited to try it, and I'm still excited to actually go out and ride it sometime, because even I'm not getting a full experience out of this for sure. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time.